After a stunning late-inning win in Arlington Wednesday, the Astros return home for a 9-game interleague homestand. It all begins tonight with the Tampa Bay Rays of the American League East. Astros baseball is next. Interleague baseball comes to Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, with the Tampa Bay Rays of the American League coming in to meet the Houston Astros of the National League for the second straight year in this ballpark. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays to see the first of three between these two clubs. And the Rays have not been hitting a whole lot, but their pitching has been fantastic, J.D.
Yeah, both their starting pitching and their bullpen very, very good for Joe Madden's club. We'll take a look at the starters for this three-game weekend series at Dandy tonight. Shields against Rodriguez, two of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and two pitchers who are absolutely red hot. And then tomorrow, Wade Davis goes up against Bud Norris. You see the great numbers on Bud over his last 5. And then Sunday, the finale featuring a Rice alum, Jeff Neiman, against Jay Happ, who needs to get things pointed in the right direction.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park, back in the lineup tonight, Hunter Pence. He missed the series in Arlington. He's missed the last 5 games, but he is back in right field tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays in just a moment.
Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. It's going to be interleague baseball again as the Astros take on a very tough team on the National League, the Tampa Bay Rays. Of course, they've been one of the top teams in the American League for a few years. But the National League teams have done very little with their pitching staff, and tonight with James Shields on the mound. This one on paper, it looks like it's going to be a real tough one for either team to score much. The Rays don't have high batting averages. Their team batting average is considerably below the Astros. Got a little more power, and they certainly have a better record. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Both teams are going through their final warm-up. Some of the Rays were throwing on the side just moments ago. We're waiting for the Astros to take the field, and when they do, we'll be sending things upstairs. Bill Brown and Jim Deshays, our umpires, are waiting for things to begin at the magic 7:05 start time, but so far nobody is budging. Crowd continues to come in. Don't know what the final count will be, but it looks like, judging from where we have people sitting in the upper decks, it might not be a bad shot at a pretty good crowd tonight against Tampa Bay. First of 3 games in this series. And now, without any further ado, still waiting for a team, we've got a broadcast team upstairs ready to go. Bill Brown and Jim Deshays.
Thank you, Greg. And the Astros and Tampa Bay Rays meet for the second consecutive year in this ballpark. That's somewhat unusual in interleague play. Tampa Bay won 2 of 3 here last year. The Astros are 6-3 against the Rays. And let's see whose birthday it might be today as the Astros take the field. Jim Deshays, happy birthday yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, yeah. Who's Jacques Ravamanjara?
He is a Hungarian activist.
Bert Convey, the star of Tattletales, one of the all-time great game shows from the 70s.
We'll hear how you celebrate it in just a moment. First of all, we have important lineups to get to. Sean Rodriguez at second, Ben Zobrist in right field, Evan Longoria at third base, B.J. Upton in center, Kelly Shoppix the catcher, Justin Ruggiano of Texas A&M in left field, Casey Kotzman at first base, Elliot Johnson at short, James Shields is the pitcher.
And Wandy Rodriguez goes to the hill for the Astros tonight. A talented 32-year-old left-hander who is 5-3 with a 2.88 ERA. And you see that little note at the bottom, 2-0 with an ERA of 0 this month. He's allowed 2 runs on a couple of solo home runs total in his last 4 starts. Wandy on quite a roll. If he keeps this up, he may find himself working in that all-star game in Phoenix. It has been most impressive. Defensively, help comes from Lee, Bourne, and Hunter Pence back in the lineup tonight. Back at his normal slot in right field. C.J. Barmers, Keppinger, Wallace on the infield, and also back from injury, J.R. Tolles gets a start behind the plate. Carlos Corporon has been doing the catching for the last week, and now J.R. healthy enough to get a start.
As you mentioned with Wandy, he has really been locked in. So we're 3 minutes late at starting so far. Over the last year, since June 23rd, a year ago, Wandy Rodriguez in his last 30 starts has an ERA of 2.37. That's best among National League starters for the last calendar year and second in the majors overall. And he's 13-5 in that span.
Yeah, it doesn't grab the headlines that some of the other starters do around the league, the guys that are posting big numbers, but quietly he has been one of the best pitchers in baseball, as Brownie mentioned, over the last calendar year. And he's got a nice matchup here tonight in that the Rays, at least when you look at the numbers, have not been very good against left-handed pitching this year as a team, hitting just .235 against southpaws.
Sean Rodriguez gets it started. Taking ball 1, the second baseman at .212 with 3 homers, has 15 runs batted in. He's 26 years old, from Miami. Rodriguez is hitting only .154 in the month of June. We'll have a delay now as something is retrieved from the field by Michael Bourne out in left center field.
My goodness. Late getting started. Now the door's left open. We'll take one day off and everything just goes to pot.
And now Wandy will wait for his speedy center fielder to get back, get in position for Rodriguez. You talked about the fact that the Rays are offensively challenged this season. They've scored 308 runs for the year. That's 5 more than the Astros. Wandy is coming off a shutout start on Saturday against the Dodgers. He worked out of a lot of trouble, very effectively so. There's a strike to make it 1-1. 7 straight quality starts for Wandy. Over his last 7 starts, he's 4-0 with a 1.31 earned run average. Curveball makes it work for strike 2, and it's 1-2 to Sean Rodriguez.
Spent a little time in the DL with that fluid on his elbow. and he has come back and looked very, very good. Curveball's been his out pitch. Also has had very good command of his fastball, down and away.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros starters as a group in the last 12 games have an ERA of 2.93. This is the first of a 9-game interleague homestand. The Astros are coming off a 3-3 road trip. Doug Brocail has watched his starters go through a very effective stretch and hoping that it lengthens out quite a bit. Out to right field, backing up Hunter Pence. 1 out. Turn the clock back to Saturday in Dodger Stadium for Wandy when he worked the 6 shutout innings.
And allowed 7 hits, just 1 walk, struck out 6. Working effectively upstairs with the fastball against some of those Dodger hitters. Tying Ethier up with a good heater in.
That's 1 out. Now it's Ben Zobrist, the right fielder. Very good player, taking strike 1. Player who's played multiple positions in his major league career. 264 with 9 homers, 38 runs batted in, leads the team in runs batted in. He came from the Astros farm system in the Aubrey Huff trade in 06 to Tampa Bay, and he was an all-star last year, driving in 75 runs. Had a 91 RBI season in 09 when he hit 297 with 27 bombs. This one goes out, and Michael Bourne gets underneath it. 2 outs. Rays 1-2 of 3 in Milwaukee before coming here. They are 6-3 against the National League clubs despite our batting average of only .219. So there's what we have so far. 56 wins for the American League, 38 for the National, and the American League showing its offensive prowess and also with better pitching. Evan Longoria looks at ball 1. 226 for Longoria, 6 homers. He's driven in 23, and he's been hurt. He is one of the outstanding glove men, and the Rays have accumulated several. It's 1-1. Longoria was an all-star last year with 22 homers, driving in 104. Third-round pick, the 3rd overall pick in 06 in the 1st round.
A unanimous Rookie of the Year in 2008.
He was out with a strained muscle in his left side. He went to Long Beach State, born in Downey, California. He's hit 125 his last 11 games.
It was at Long Beach State that he was moved from shortstop to third base because they had Troy Tulowitzki.
It's quite an infield. He had a homer and drove in 4 on Monday at Milwaukee, going 2 for 5 in that one. Now he has a full count. Wandy's 0-1 against Tampa Bay in his career. His ERA 3.86 for those two. Curveball, backhanded. Chris Johnson straightens up and throws him out for a 1-2-3 first for Wandy Rodriguez. James Shields, coming off back-to-back 9-inning performances without allowing an earned run, is up next. go to the Astros starting lineup put together by Brad Mills in this fashion. Michael Bourne leads it off. He's in center field with Jeff Keppinger at second base. Hunter Pence is returning to the lineup tonight, his first game since June 17th. He's the right fielder. Carlos Lee follows in left with Brett Wallace at first, Chris Johnson at third, Clint Farmas the shortstop, J.R. Tolles the catcher, Wandy Rodriguez the pitcher.
They call him Big Game. Big Game James Shields. 15 starts, 5 complete games. That's just absurd in this day and age. 7-4, 240, the earned run average for 112 and 2/3 innings of work. Great strikeout to walk ratio. And the league hitting just 214 against the net ERA, fourth best among Major League starting pitchers. Defensively, it's Ruggiano, Upton, and Zobrist in the outfield. Longoria, Johnson, Rodriguez, Kochman on the infield. Very good defensive team. They made the fewest errors in the American League. Kelly Shoppick, the veteran catcher, is behind the plate.
Strike one from Shields to Michael Bourne on a 3-game hitting streak at 284 with 1 homer, 25 runs batted in for Michael. That one's out of play. He was 5 for 13 with 2 runs batted in the Rangers series. And is coming off a 350 average on that road trip. Shields is facing the Astros for the first time. That's rolled out to shortstop, backhanded, then the throw by Johnson in the dirt, but Kochman picks it out. He has not made an error since August 10th of last year. That's 94 games without an error. And Kochman not only plays errorless ball, but saves his mates on the infield errors.
Yeah, he's a tremendous glove man. This is the changeup from Shields, and that is his best pitch. It's one of the better changeups in the game. Like Johnson in his haste didn't get a real good grip on that ball. That's the pressure Michael Bourne will put on you. You have to do everything a beat faster with Bourne going down the line.
Jeff Keppinger's on a 10-game hitting streak. He looks at strike one. Checking in at 323 with 1 homer, 11 runs batted in. And during his 10-game streak, he's been a 372 hitter. Shields misses away with the fastball. And the count runs to 1 ball, 1 strike. Shields has had back-to-back complete game wins. He gave up 1 unearned run against Florida Sunday, but has not allowed an earned run in either of his last 2 starts. 1-2.
Takes some time to get that hair ready to go.
Yes, it does. A lot of moves. Wow, struck him out.
Nasty.
Yes, it is.
The nasty factor on that one is really high.
Keppinger doesn't strike out much.
No, he doesn't. And he rarely swings and misses. Usually if he strikes out, he gets rung up on a pitch that he feels like is out of the zone. But that's the kind of movement Shields gets on that, what has been described by Joe Madden as a power changeup.
Hunter Pence returning to the lineup tonight. He is 0 for his last 7. Here's strike one. Hunter was out with the sprained left elbow. He has a 321 average, 9 homers, 51 runs batted in. He's among the league leaders in several departments. There it is again, 0-2. That's quite a pitch.
Yeah, this tough assignment. Looking at this guy for the first time and having to deal with that pitch.
Hunter has 93 hits. That's 3rd in the National League. He's 6th in runs batted in. Carlos Lee on deck. One ball, 2 strikes. Shields was a 16th round draft choice in 2000. He's from Newhall, California. Turned down a scholarship offer to LSU.
No, he didn't. He's the first cousin of Aaron Rowan, center fielder for the Giants.
Okay. He was the opening day starter 3 years in a row. This year the number 2 starter, with David Price getting that call for the opener. He's the Rays all-time leader in wins, starts, innings, strikeouts, and quality starts. And he gets another strikeout. What an impressive first inning for Shields. It is on tonight. No score, no base runners through 1.
Present a post-game concert featuring Michelle Branch. The Astros host the Rays at 6:05. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Lone Survivor Foundation to support returning war veterans. Visit astros.com/boot for tickets. That's tomorrow.
Very good entertainer, Michelle Branch. That'll be a good evening coming up tomorrow. B.J. Upton starts it here the second inning, looking at strike one. 219 for Upton, 8 homers, 34 runs batted in. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Very athletic performer. But he did not want to go hunting with some of the other guys on the Tampa Bay Rays, including Coach Dave Martinez.
He didn't want to go hunting?
No, didn't want to go hunting.
Did they go hunting recently?
They went hunting yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Where?
Wild boar, somewhere out outside Houston.
Who goes hunting when it's 100 degrees out?
Dave Martinez. A couple of the guys went, and B.J. Upton was going to go hunting for the first time, but decided against it.
He's a smart man.
3 balls and a strike. Probably not the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of folks on a day in June in Houston. 3-2 now, and JR.
Yeah, right back in the lineup for the first time in a week, and ding here in the second inning.
It's been a hamstring injury, but that's a shot to the jaw there.
Yeah.
Welcome back, JR.
He thinks he wants to be a rodeo clown.
Upton's 26 years old.
He's still dazed.
He is.
He's tougher than $2 steak, that guy. He'll be fine.
Works the walk. And Upton, who runs well, is on. First base runner in the game for Kelly Shopping.
Might be a good time to test JR. He's a little wobbly back there. 19 steals. He's been caught 4 times. Left-hander on the mound usually changes the equation a little bit. See, JR's caught just 4 of 34. And they've been successful 5 out of 6 times with Wandy on the mound. A lot of guys won't try, though, with the lefty on the hill.
Kelly Shopping has put together a 5-game hitting streak. Starts out with that open stance. And he closes it, and he takes strike one. Shopping, a 194 hitter with 4 homers, has driven in 13. He's gone 6 for 15 with a couple of homers, though, in that 5-game hitting streak. He's from Fort Worth. Went to Baylor University, won the Johnny Bench Award in 01. First team All-America, Big 12 Player of the Year.
Despite all that, when he made his major league debut in Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard announced him as Mike Shopping.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, the first major league at bat in Yankee Stadium, and the venerable Bob Shepard at the public address. Mike, and he dropped a Mike Shopping on him.
That was Tom Foley, the third base coach, giving signs. Well, Kelly Shopping was drafted by Boston in the second round in 01. They traded him to Cleveland in 06, and Tampa Bay got him in a trade before last year. He hit 196 last year in 158 at bats, and here he is still on the interstate this season at 194. Runner going. No throw from JR. Looked like he stumbled. And it's an easy stolen base for Upton, number 20 of the year.
And perhaps JR, having not caught in a while, a little bit out of rhythm back there. Would have been difficult to get Upton anyway on this breaking ball, but JR gets his feet tangled up, trying to get into position to make the throw. That's the 20th bag for Upton. Stepped on the hitter is what happened.
Umpire gave the safe sign, ruling no batter interference on that. And he counts 0-2. 1-2 to Kelly Shopping.
So no professional courtesy there from the opposing catcher. Shopping wasn't going to get out of the way and make JR's job any easier.
No, sir, he was not. When he powers it in for a strike, Shopping is caught looking. That's one out for a strikeout. Wandy lost here to Neiman of Tampa Bay, 4-2, giving up 3 runs in 6 innings.
He's been so good lately, and it's his ability to spot the fastball to go along with his outstanding curveball. And another great example of it there. He just paints that inside corner.
Jeff Neiman of Rice is due to pitch Sunday here at 105. Justin Ruggiano of Austin into Texas A&M after attending Glenn College. There's strike 1 to Ruggiano. He has terrific numbers, 340, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in for Justin. This is his first time to play in the state of Texas since 08. He played 4 games in Arlington against the Rangers. First time he's played in Houston. He was called up from AAA Durham on May 20th, and he's played in 20 of 32 games since he came back. He was at Durham all last season, hitting .287 with 15 homers, driving in 70. The Dodgers drafted him in 04 and traded him to Tampa Bay in 06.
25th round draft pick by the Dodgers. Came to Tampa Bay in the deal that sent Deoner Navarro over to L.A. There was so much talk about the Astros building their farm system, and certainly you need to do that. But you look at this Rays club, very little homegrown talent in this lineup tonight.
Which is interesting because of all the emphasis on drafting and developing. But then sometimes that's in order to make a trade.
Yeah, you want to have as many players and prospects in your system as possible that you can either bring to the big leagues or, depending on the fit, move them to get a piece from somewhere else.
That one almost got him. Curveball makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ruggiano. Jackknifes out of the way a little bit. When the Rays get a run or 2 early for their starting pitchers, they can be really difficult to beat. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. That's 2 in a row for Wandy.
Shopik looking at the fastball. Ruggiano swinging at the curveball. So that's kind of the battle that's been laid out here tonight. Wandy's curveball versus Shields' changeup. 2+ pitches. And the hitters are going to have to try to figure out how to solve these 2 solid veteran starters.
28-year-old Casey Kochman is reinventing himself quite nicely with the Rays after being with the Seattle Mariners. Prior to that, he was an Angel. He had very much an offseason last year. Looking at ball 1, currently he's on a 4-game hitting streak. His numbers are terrific. 337 compared to 189 last year. He's hit 356 his last 12 games. That one goes foul. 1-1 to Kochman. Kochman has 10 extra base hits in his last 25 games. He's gone 95 games without an error now since his last one. And had some eye problems last year with Seattle. Got that solved over the winter, going to a specialist who extracted some fluid in the eye. Apparently his vision was kind of cloudy last year, which goes a long way toward explaining a .217 batting average. He signed a AAA deal over the winter as a free agent to join the Rays, and he has been a very nice surprise at first base after Carlos Pena left through free agency to join the Chicago Cubs. And the Rays, with Pena moving on, with Carl Crawford becoming a Boston Red Sox outfielder, with Jason Bartlett now a San Diego Padre, have lost some of their mainstays offensively from last year's team. Broken bat. Wandy makes the grab. After a leadoff walk and a steal, the next 3 guys go out quietly, and there's no score. 3. First of 9 for the Astros at home. Tampa Bay for these 3 games this weekend. Then after an off day Monday, Texas, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. And next weekend, Boston. Carlos Lee gets it started in the home second inning. As the fans watch, they see a .265 hitter with 5 homers, 37 runs batted in. That's in the air on the right side. Kochman underneath. 1 pitch, 1 out for Shields.
And you can understand why Carlos would attack early, because you can tell by the pattern from Shields. And I'd imagine the Astros have been doing a fair bit of video watching and looking at scouting reports on Shields. It looks like his MO is to get ahead fastball and then get you out with that changeup. And you'd rather not have to deal with that changeup as a hitter, because it's an outstanding pitch. And here's the downside to that strategy. If you don't make solid contact with that first pitch fastball, you're going to give him a lot of easy outs. So that's the conundrum facing the Astros.
Strike to Brett Wallace, who's over his last 20. .292 average for Brett, 4 homers, 21 runs batted in.
Uncle Charlie for good measure.
Wow. 0-2. No wonder they're talking about James Shields perhaps being the American League starting pitcher in the All-Star game this year. He's already set the club record for shutouts in a season. Rolled, and Shields comes over to tag Wallace. 2 outs.
Well, the Astros catch a break this weekend in that they do not face David Price, the big hard-throwing left-hander. But boy, how about running into Price and this guy in back-to-back games?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a 1-2 whammy nobody wants right now. Shields already has won 7 games. Last year he went 13-15 with a 5.18 ERA. 63 major league wins, 55 losses. Chris Johnson bats. Taking ball 1, 242, 6 homers, 31 driven in for CJ. Ryan Gorman is the home plate umpire. It's a 2-ball, no strike count to Chris, who was 2 for 12 in the series against the Rangers. Had a good road trip, though, going 8 for 25 for a .320 batting average. Backhanded by Johnson. 6 straight set down by Shields in a 0-0 game through 2.
The question is, will Brownie and JD get one of these or not? The question is a little convoluted, so it may be a little bit difficult. We'll see. What former Tampa Bay Ray was indirectly responsible for the Astros getting Jeff Bagwell? That's the question. Now you got to figure out what was in my brain when I came up with it.
boy.
I got it.
Oh, you got it already?
Well, I think I do, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'll let folks ponder.
All right.
All right, since I'm one of the folks, let me ponder it too. There's strike one to Elliott Johnson. 212 for Elliott with 3 homers, 11 runs batted in.
You probably don't need the clue, but for the folks at home, it had to do with the position.
Oh, right at the bat.
Yes, it did. It's a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes.
Brian Gorman didn't make a call. I think he's just waving his hands. Watch. I don't think he ever made a call here. There's just really no play. He's not saying foul ball. He's not saying hit batsman. He's just saying, I'm just going to see how this develops. And if Johnson makes a move to first base there, he might get his base.
Oh, okay. Are you thinking Wade Boggs? Okay.
You are.
That's it.
The reason it was convoluted was because Wade, of course, played his career with Tampa Bay at the end and is in the Hall of Fame wearing a Tampa uniform. But when he was with the Red Sox, he was the third baseman. Scott Cooper was the AAA guy. Baggy was available because he was the third baseman. And here's the official word as you see the strikeout in the background. It was Bagwell Boggs because Bagwell was the third man on the totem pole as a third baseman. He was expendable.
Yeah, and there's 2 stories, because the one story was that the Astros really wanted Cooper and that the Red Sox would not part with Cooper, but they said we put Bagwell in the deal. But I've also heard Bob Watson say that Baggy was the guy they wanted all along.
Well, I talked to Bill Wood about it, and he said he thought they were talking about a left-handed pitcher also from Boston in the deal. So time erases a lot of these lines, you know.
Well, the Astros are certainly happy the way it turned out. Boggs was a good enough player, obviously, a Hall of Famer. So, both teams got what they wanted in the end.
And Scott Cooper never turned into the star-type player the Red Sox thought they had in the wings.
That's the value, though, of having depth in your system.
True. Off the mask again of J.R. Tolles. What is up with this? He's taken 2 shots to the chin already tonight.
You might have to go to that different style of mask. I don't know if that would be any less painful or. I mean, he's like a prize fighter right now. He's bloody, his chin. My goodness.
Yeah, he hasn't had an at-bat yet in this game, and he probably feels as if he's been in the ring for about 20 rounds.
It's such a frustrating position. There's so much pressure on you to call the game, and then you got to worry about your own at-bats. You're trying to control the running game. And then you're just getting smoked all the time by foul tips and potential collisions at home plate. I mean, that's working for a living right there when you strap that gear on. I think they're going to get Corporon ready. Get Corporon to get the gear on.
Well, it appears that there's a cut. They're trying to.
Pretty good cut. You can just see there's more frustration in those eyes than pain right now. He's like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Well, he has had just one bit of tough luck after another the last few years. Last year he was sent down to the minor leagues, then he broke his thumb and was out for weeks.
Reminds me of the stories when Ash was catching back in the day and trying to catch Joe Niekro's knuckleball, and he broke his finger and came into the clubhouse in Shea Stadium and kicked that big rubber trash can all the way across the clubhouse and floored Doc Ewell.
Oh, tough. Hey, baseball fans, Chevy's proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswire.com. And now Carlos Corporon, who has started 10 of the last 12 games, is going to come in early off the bench in this one. And you hate this for a lot of reasons if you're Brad Mills. One, you want to get J.R. Tolles back into the swing of things here. Now you've lost that. Second thing is you've got to change catchers here in the third inning of a 0-0 game. And Corporon's been catching a lot.
And you're always worried about another injury, and then you're stuck with your emergency guy, who I believe would be Matt Downs. But here's the second blow, the knockout blow. And delivered by Shields, too. And that's a pretty good-looking swing for a pitcher, by the way. Thankfully, the Astros were off yesterday. A chance for Corporon to recover a little bit, because he was catching every day and had to catch 3 straight days in that heat up in Arlington. That could take a lot out of you.
Well, Shields is a .214 career hitter, as it turns out. 6 for 28. 2 runs batted in. So Downs would be the emergency third catcher if needed. And Jay Happ talking about something pretty interesting apparently on the bench there. But Downs was the guy who provided the pinch hit 2-run game-winning homer Wednesday night off Neftali Feliz in Texas.
Yeah, it's good to be Matt Downs right now. I mean, he's really doing a heck of a job.
Now the game will resume as Shields 0 for 4 this season with 1 RBI. Comes up with a 1-2 count again. The Tampa Bay pitchers collectively are 0 for 14 with 9 strikeouts this year in interleague play. Curve goes for ball 2.
Shields is dying to get a hit so he can text his cousin Aaron Rowan and say, hey pal, this isn't so tough. I got a knock tonight. How many did you get?
Not this time. Strikeout number 4 for Wandy. When the Rays score first in a game, their record is 30-8. Season. 2 outs, and it's Sean Rodriguez who hit a fly ball to right. Their leadoff man is getting on base at a 289 clip so far this year. Broken bat looper. Wallace over to foul ground. 0-2.
I don't know if he still is, but Sean Rodriguez's dad used to be a hitting instructor in the Marlins organization.
Okay.
And in Miami, he used to work with A-Rod, just throw batting practice to A-Rod.
Sean goes back to the plate with an 0-2 count. You talked about these gifted fielders for the Rays. They've certainly supported that pitching staff extremely well. So if they get in a tight game, they have to like their chances. They can get just enough offense. They've been a better road club than a home team so far. Grounded into left field. First hit of the game comes from Sean Rodriguez. Benjamin Zobrist will bat next.
Rodriguez stayed back on that curveball and hit it sharply between third and short. Although he's the leadoff guy, he's not a real speed demon, not a real stolen base threat. He's gotten 4 bags this year, been caught twice.
Zobrist hit a fly ball to center first time up. Throw going over. Zobrist just turned 30, and he went to Dallas Baptist University, born in Eureka, Illinois.
Ty Wigginton, was that the trade? Astros.
It was Aubrey Huff.
Oh, Aubrey Huff.
And Mitch Talbot was the right-handed pitcher also involved in that deal going from Houston to Tampa Bay. He has turned out to be pretty good for Cleveland.
Zobrist 2 years ago hit 27 home runs.
One ball, one strike. Jerry Hunsaker is here. Andrew Friedman, Houston native, is here from the Tampa Bay front office. Dwayne Statz is next door, former Astros broadcaster doing television for the Rays. Jim Hickey is here, the pitching coach. And Hick worked in the minor leagues for many years, a total of 16 years in the Houston organization. And he comes back with this excellent pitching staff. Unfortunately, he had some damage to his house in the Orlando, Florida area from a fire. 50 pitches for Wandy Rodriguez, 29 strikes, and repairs are underway right now. He hopes to be back in the house in 2 or 3 weeks. Good numbers at the outset from Wandy. Runner going. throw from Tolles, or from Corporon rather, not in time, and Rodriguez gets a steal. It's number 5 for him, and the Rays are 2 for 2 tonight.
The Astros just have not been very efficient in shutting down the running game.
That's the 70th stolen base they've allowed in 87 tries. Now it's a full count to Zobrist. Zobrist had quite a doubleheader earlier this year against the Twins, a day-night doubleheader. He drove in 10 runs.
That'll earn you a game ball.
Went 7 for 10, 2 homers and 3 doubles. Drove in 8 in the opener. Liner to right field. In for a hit. Hunter Pence snags it. Here's a throw to the plate. And Corcoran takes the one bounce throw and safe at home. Rodriguez gets in to make it 1-0 Rays. On an RBI single by Zobrist.
Even with 2 outs, when the runner's moving with the swing, the Astros still had a shot at him because the line drive was well played by Hunter Pence. Got to it in a hurry. Good strong throw home. And Rodriguez just able to reach back and slap home plate. There was nowhere to go but out and around, and apparently got the back corner. And Corporon is lucky that Rodriguez opted for that play.
Deep drive for Longoria, and that looks like a 2-run homer. Longoria goes into the home run trot. 3-0 Rays on number 7 for Longoria, giving him 25 runs batted in. 3 straight hits, all with 2 outs, and there was an 0-2 count on Rodriguez, who got that first hit. 2 strikes on the Zobrist RBI single on a 3-2 count. Then Longoria jumps all over that one.
Yeah, out of nowhere, 3 runs go up on the board for the Rays. Longoria picks on a low fastball. That's 3 big runs here early, the way Shields is throwing the ball.
Boy, it is. 3 runs on 3 hits in the inning. Upton fouled one for strike 1. Now he fouls another one. It's 0-2 to B.J. Upton.
But just to finish the point on that play at the plate, Corporon lucky that Rodriguez opted to go around and try to slap home plate as opposed to hit him, because Corporon was in a very vulnerable position, not unlike Buster Posey when he got hurt.
And Matt Downs might have been starting to get worried as that play unfolded.
It's exactly what crossed my mind on the base hit, that there was a chance for a collision at home. You see that left knee going down as he handles the ball, tries to, doing everything he can to block home plate.
Carlos Lee back for this fly ball in left field, now backing off the wall, looking up, and he says the fan interfered with it. Third base umpire Larry Vanover ruling home run, and it's 4-0 as the Rays go back to back, and Upton gets number 9.
Well, this might be worth an argument. Yeah, Brad Mills is going to come out. This might be worth looking at video. Carlos, if he has a legit point.
Now Brian Gorman's going to walk out in that direction for Larry Vanover.
Can't tell.
No. Did he reach over the wall, and would the ball have gone in had he not? Those are the questions.
It's impossible to tell. Unless they have a different look, they're not going to be able to tell, so the rule will likely stand unless they have a different look.
Yeah, the best angle would be one that we normally don't have, one looking down the left field wall towards center field, and that's not an angle we usually see from these cameras. Last back-to-back homers against the Astros were by the Atlanta Braves, Freddie Freeman and Alex Gonzalez, June 10th. And things have exploded here.
Yeah, this is amazing. As good as Wandy has been pitching, 2 quick outs in this inning. You might think, well, gee, the catching change may have messed him up a little bit, but Wandy being the veteran that he is, and I can't imagine that would be that much of an impact. And face it, that ball right there wasn't exactly smoked. It was just hitting the right part of the ballpark.
Well, certainly understandable that Brad Mills would want this reviewed. There's at least a chance that it would be overturned. Otherwise, it's definitely 4-0.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Looked to me on that last one like it was probably going to leave the ballpark.
Umpires usually do this pretty quickly, a couple of minutes. Here's the replay review ruling and how it's made. There is a video screen in the tunnel just off the field, and thereby does not take very long for the umpires to get some different looks, however many looks they have, and it goes through the feed in the New York offices of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're taught to interpret it, because you notice in that graphic on the rules of replay, there's nothing about the conclusiveness of the evidence like there is in the NFL. Like in the NFL, the rule is that the play on the field stands unless there's conclusive evidence to the contrary. So you read that, if the umpires just say, "Oh, we're not sure, but this is what we think," you could overturn it, but they're not going to.
Nope.
And I think they got it right.
Home run stands. So Upton gets number 9, giving him 35 runs batted in. And it is indeed a 4-0 game. That fan has his souvenir. And Wandy Rodriguez, who had surrendered 9 homers in 80 innings, now has given up back-to-back shots. First earned runs allowed since May 22nd. The last 2 times out against Atlanta here and the Dodgers on the road, he had pitched 6 shutout innings. Fouled away there by Kelly Shopik. Strike 1 to Shopik.
Wandy had only allowed 2 runs in his last 4 starts.
Going back the last 7 starts, he's given up more than 2 runs once. He gave up 3 runs in 7 innings here in a no decision against Cincinnati on May 11th. Astros record in Wandy's 12 starts is 7-5. He's the only Houston starting pitcher with the team having a winning record when he's on the mound. 1-1. Two and 1 now. Wandy's had some tough luck at home. He's 1-1, but a 2.45 ERA in 5 starts. Curve misses in, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Shopik. Ruggiano on deck. This will be the 31st pitch of the inning. It's good for a strike. That makes it 3-2 to Shopik. We just didn't seem to have a plan at all on that 3-1 pitch.
Well, he sold out on a fastball. He was just cheating on a 3-1 heater there, and Wandy threw him a changeup. Figured everybody's hitting home runs. I'm going to take a free swing on a 3-1 pitch.
2 hopper goes to Wallace. On to Rodriguez. And it's 4 big runs in the 3rd inning, all with 2 outs, starting on an 0-2 count to Rodriguez. 4-0 Tampa Bay.
AT&T. Rethink possible by your local Texas Ford dealers. And by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day.
4-0 ball game. Rays have the lead. Astros to bat bottom half of the third. Brownie and I are just chatting with Larry Dirker up here in the booth. Dirk stopping by for a visit. Looking very Dirkish with his Hawaiian shirt and sandals on.
Thanks, Dirk.
It's pretty appealing right there.
Oh, you bet.
All right, he's calling for a comeback.
Calling for a comeback. Clint Barmas is the man who would love to oblige by starting that. And Clint takes strike one. With a .215 average, he has 3 homers. He's driven in 11 this year. Catcher spot to up next. Corporon in that spot now, with Toles leaving with the injury. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Clint. Clint went 1 for 11 in the Texas series. He's hitting .213 for the month of June for 75 at bats. Rips this one and it hooks foul.
Too bad he couldn't keep that one in play. Good swing at that fastball. He's not likely to see that again in this at bat.
That one goes foul. Still 1-2. Shields is 5th in innings pitched in the American League with 112 2/3 coming into this one. Tied for 2nd in strikeouts. On his way to what could be a big year. Maybe his best. Tap is short. Johnson coming in. Throws on the run and gets Barmas. 7 straight for Shields.
So still looking for their first ball out of the infield. 3 ground balls, a pop up to first base, and a couple of punch outs. Johnson, good athlete. He had a 40-plus vertical leap when he was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. 6 foot tall, but he can slam in any manner of ways. Slam a basketball.
Carlos Corporon hits it in the air, foul, and it's strike one. J.R. Toles leaving with an injury. He had a cut on foul ball. It got him on the mask. 125 for Corporon. He's driven in 2. He went 1 for 8 in the Texas series. 2 for 18 on that road trip. Right to first baseman Kochman. 2 outs.
JR back in the lineup for the first time in 6 or 7 days, and that's number 1. Takes that first shot to the grill, and then steps on the hitter on the stolen base attempt, and then Shields hitting, delivers the knockout blow.
Now Wandy Rodriguez takes a look at strike one. He has 4 hits and 25 at bats for a 160 average. In the dirt, and it's a 1-1 count. Astros are 3-3 in play against the American League clubs this season. They won 2 of 3 in Toronto. Just lost 2 of 3 in Texas. Now they're finished with a road play against the American League clubs.
Yeah, normally you're planning to get home and get on a roll, but when home means Rays, Rangers, and Red Sox, you know, it's not exactly home sweet home, is it?
No, not something you savor. That's 9 straight set down by Shields, 3 via strikeout and through 3. He's perfect, and the Rays lead 4-0. And James Shields is really on his game, retiring the first 9. Now the Astros hope that Wandy Rodriguez can get back in that form that took him through the first 2 outs in the 3rd inning before things really exploded for the Rays. Now they'll have Ruggiano, Kochman, and Johnson due up in their 4th inning. Ruggiano struck out in the 2nd.
Parmigiano Ruggiano.
Bouncer over Wandy, off his glove, goes out to Keppinger. Keppinger steams a throw on to Wallace and gets him 1-4-3. Keppinger ready to play that carom shot. Now it's Kochman. Kochman hit a broken bat pop up to the pitcher. He looks at strike 1. Kochman needs more plate appearances to qualify for the league lead in batting average. That makes it no balls, 2 strikes. 337 at game time. That would rank 3rd in the majors, but he was 26 plate appearances shy of qualifying. His average is the 2nd highest on this date by a Ray. Rolls over on it. Keppinger gets him 2 outs.
Does that mean a small margin by a Ray?
It probably does.
Or you mean by a guy who wore the Ray uniform?
Yeah, that.
John O'Hurley threw the first pitch tonight. He of Peterman Seinfeld fame.
The straight arm approach, huh? Didn't really bend at the elbow that much. Could lead to some shoulder problems later on down the road for him.
You wear a silk black shirt, perfect for the occasion, and a pair of faded dungarees.
Ball 1 to Johnson. Johnson struck out in the 3rd inning.
Double vent pockets for extra movement.
Wallace takes it unassisted for a 1-2-3 4th for Wandy. 4-0 Rays. To the 4th inning, Bourne, Keppinger, and Pence due up for the Astros against James Shields. And as JD mentioned earlier, he's known as Big Game James, but this year Complete Game James as well, with 5 complete games and 15 starts. He leads the American League in distance going performances so far this year. Rays starters have allowed only 7 earned runs in their last 47 1/3 innings for an ERA under 1.5. And their starting pitchers are averaging 6 1/3 innings per start. That's tied for 4th in the majors. Michael Bourne lines one into right center field, and the Astros get their first base runner. 4-game hitting streak for Michael. We go to Greg Lucas.
Hey fans, I've got something special coming up for you. Your chance to meet an Astros player and become the ultimate Whataburger What a fan. Come out next Wednesday from 11 to noon for an autograph session with Astros second baseman Jeff Keppinger and Junction Jack at the Whataburger listed. While there, you can sign up to be an ultimate Whataburger What a fan and have a chance to win 2 sweet seats and also so much more. Don't miss the chance to meet Jeff Keppinger at Whataburger. We'll meet him right now at home plate.
First time up, he struck out on a wicked Shields changeup. Only his 6th strikeout and 100 at bats this season. Now Bourne is drawing some attention from Shields.
Bourne employing the same tactic as Carlos Lee, attacking that first fastball. Although he was more effective, Carlos popped his up. Michael hit his on a line.
Bourne's 32 of 35. Shopik's thrown out 7 of 16. Shields 9 for 12 against. Two balls, no strikes. Keppinger walks away, reads the signs of Dave Clark. Arizona leads at Detroit 6-0 after 6 as the former Tiger Kirk Gibson returns as Diamondback manager. Pulled foul. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Nice play down there with the bare hand. Yeah, young man right there. Outstanding work. But I think the key to getting to Shields here is one, either attack that first pitch because he has started a number of hitters with first pitch fastball, or if you can work your way into a count where you can sit fastballs. Kepler just did there. He took a good whack at that 2-0 heater.
Ground ball third. Longoria to second, and then the one-hop relay safe at first. Kochman chases it down on the throw that bounced from Sean Rodriguez. But they were quick. Longoria with a strong throw to Rodriguez, forcing Bourne.
Yeah, that would have been an All-American double play there, and they almost got it. Watch how quickly Longoria gets rid of this. And a quick pivot by Rodriguez, and if Kochman had been able to handle it, I think they would have gotten their double play. This was pretty slick.
Yes. Yep. No error on the play. Now Keppinger is the base runner for Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence struck out in the first inning. Arizona-Detroit game 6-6 after 6 now. That's strike 1.
Rays have made just 35 errors all year. Best in the American League, contrasted with the Astros, who have committed 60 errors.
The Rays have allowed 19 unearned runs compared to the Astros 42. Broken back. Longoria to second, and Sean Rodriguez with another throw to first. This time does complete the double play around the horn very quickly. With no runs a hit, nobody left after 4. It's 4-0 Rays.
Don't miss your chance to catch the Boston Red Sox here at Minute Maid for an interleague series next weekend, July 1st through 3rd. On Sunday the 3rd, the first 10,000 fans to the 105 game will receive a Brett Myers bobblehead. Get those tickets at Astros.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you very much. It is 4-0. James Shields leads it off, and there's a big cut.
He knows he's only got so many chances to swing that bat, being an American League pitcher, and he's not going to get cheated.
Certainly didn't on that swing. That made quick work of him, and it's strikeout number 5 for Wandy Rodriguez.
You have to admire the gusto.
Yeah. Sean Rodriguez, a part of that inning-ending double play on the Hunter Pence grounder, is 1 for 2 with a steal and a run scored. He started it with 2 outs on an 0-2 count with that single through the left side in the 3rd inning. Looking at ball 1.
He's named after Sean Connery.
Oh.
His dad is a big Sean Connery fan, so.
Okay. So he would be the dashing sort of hero then. 1 ball, 1 strike. Able to extract himself from all means of danger. 1-2. And against all odds, he will save the day.
Is he your favorite Bond?
Yeah, I think so. How about you?
Yeah, I think so too.
He was perfect. It's ball 2, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros are 13-25 here at Minute Maid Park this season. 3-2 now. Next weekend, the Boston Red Sox are here. It looks as if their rotation will bring to Minute Maid Park Tim Wakefield Friday night, Andrew Miller Saturday night, Josh Beckett Sunday afternoon. Ripped and past the diving Chris Johnson into the left field corner. And Barmas tracks it down, holds him to a single. The ball never really reached the corner.
Hit the umpire.
Oh. That's what slowed it down. Larry Vanover.
Oh no, hit CJ and then hit Larry.
In the chest.
Got everybody.
Yeah, deflected by CJ's glove. And Rodriguez is now 2 for 3.
I'd like to have that argument. Be Joe Madden, go out there and start screaming at Larry, hey, get out of the way, you cost me an extra base.
Zobrist singled in Rodriguez after his steal in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. The Rays have a low team batting average, 242. The Astros, by comparison, are hitting 260. And they're averaging 4.11 runs per game, surviving on that to the tune of 41-34, 3.5 games out of first. Strike to Zobrist. It's hard for them, though, to stack up well against the top-notch teams in the American League East if they're going against frontline starters from the Yankees and the Red Sox. Very difficult with their offense somewhat strapped compared to those other 2 clubs.
Yeah, last year they averaged almost 5 runs a game, so they're significantly down in the run scored department. Pitching has been outstanding, so I guess that's what Joe Madden would argue. Hey, that's just the way we're going to have to beat those teams. We're going to have to shut down those high-powered offenses and beat them 3-2.
Well, they've been doing that pretty well. 1 ball, 1 strike. They are 12-6 in 1-run games. Only 500 at home, so they would look to that for big improvement here in the second half of the season coming up. But they've been known all along as a scrappy bunch. It competes very well with what they have. Full foul.
Wow, that was scary.
Scary for David Price.
Yeah, Big David better get down behind that screen.
He pitched here in the college class.
He lost his seeds.
Oh, okay.
Threw his seeds.
Can't blame him. All hands off deck on a foul ball like that. Boston leading New York by a half, and then 3.5 back the Rays, who've been so competitive, and this year their payroll is a little over $40 million. So compared to the Boston and Yankee payroll, that is just an incredible amount of production they're getting from this team, even after the losses they had. That included the top 6 relievers in their bullpen who did not return for this season. Pretty hard to have a remade bullpen perform as well as they have. 9 wins, 7 losses, a 3.56 ERA. And they're 16 for 21 in saves. Kyle Farnsworth is really stabilized things.
Tough to know what you're going to get when there's that much turnover.
Outside the right field line, out of play. It really is.
But I think it's also a lesson in being careful how you allocate your resources, because it's so difficult to predict from one year to the next what guys in the bullpen are going to do. Kyle Farnsworth, his whole career has been primarily a setup guy, and at times not a very effective setup guy. He battles control problems, always had that big arm, and now he's moved into the closer's role, and he's been outstanding.
15 for 16 in saves.
He will be the 7th different pitcher to lead their club in saves in the last 7 seasons.
Runner going, there's a foul ball.
And so that kind of instability at the back of your bullpen, people would argue you can't win like that. Well, the Rays are proving otherwise.
You can look at it the other way. You take a productive bullpen, which has stacked up a lot of appearances and innings. You bring that same bullpen back, you might not get anywhere near what you got the year before.
Right. That's where the scouting and hard work and a lot of analysis pays off. And sometimes good luck.
Well, for instance, their closer Rafael Soriano is with the Yankees now. He signed a 3-year deal for big money. He's injured. Their setup man, Joaquin Benoit, signed a 3-year deal with Detroit, $16 million, and he's having a bad year. They turned the page, moved on, got some draft choices. They're looking pretty good for those decisions not to re-sign those guys.
Yeah, they ended up with a bunch of draft picks in this year's draft.
Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Rodriguez on. Time will tell how well they did, but they really concentrated on this draft this year. Pittsburgh's leading 3-1 over Boston after 6 at PNC Park. Paul Maholm started. He's out after 5 1/3 innings. John Lester still in the game for Boston.
Weren't those the foes in the very first World Series, Boston and Pittsburgh?
Oh, that's right.
Are they wearing throwback uniforms?
They might be. Runner takes off, and it's pulled foul. It was 1903. They didn't even have numbers on the uniforms then. It would be hard to return to that era, but they might be. This will be the 9th pitch coming up to Zobrist.
Yeah, see, I think that's what baseball should do. They have these turn back the clock days, and they wear the throwback uniform. I think they should go back and play. They're a dead ball era. They're going to play with some crappy old ball that'll hardly fly.
That could be fun.
Players aren't allowed to wear batting gloves.
Zobrist up the right field line, foul. That would indeed present a different wrinkle to the fans. They used to keep 1 ball in play for an entire game. It got pretty dark by about the 5th inning.
Yeah, we need to promote that, Brian. We need to have a throwback game.
Okay.
A couple crappy old balls. Players leave their gloves on the field. When they leave the field, just drop the glove at their position.
That's right.
Maybe have an exhibition. Have Michael Bourne race a horse or something before the game.
Well, Bob Feller once tried to throw a pitch faster than a speeding motorcycle, which he apparently did, according to reports. Back in the days when it was pretty crude to time things like pitches. Now 3-2. Zobrist has 35 at bats with a 3-2 count. He's hitting 171.
Pitch count really starting to climb on Wandy now. This will be pitch number 90 in the ball game, 11th in this at bat with Zobrist.
Longoria is on deck. Runner going, and it's ball 4. The runners at first and second now, and 1 out for Longoria, who ripped a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. And in fact, it's the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast coming up right here.
That came after a pair of singles, and then he picked on a low fastball. Zobrist had driven in Rodriguez. Longoria drives in Zobrist and himself. That was followed by a B.J. Upton home run. That's where we are, 4-0, 5th inning. Brocail chatting with Wandy Rodriguez. Nobody yet throwing in the Astros pen. Some moving about, stretching going on. Astros came out of that Rangers series in pretty good shape, especially given that they had the day off yesterday. But solid starts by Lyles and Myers really helped save the bullpen after a rough outing for Jay Happ in the opener of that series.
Wandy with those numbers on an extra day's rest because of the day off. Was mowing down the Rays. Had 2 strikeouts in the 3rd inning to open on Johnson and Shields, but then trouble started. Now he trails 4-0. And it's Longoria who belted a 2-run homer in the 3rd. He's hitting only 121 against lefties with a couple of homers.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly things can turn, because it just had the feel of a game that was going to end up 1-0 in the 7th inning, the way Wandy and Shields had started.
This one gets by Corporon, and the runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. Ruled a wild pitch. Now first base open with Upton on deck. Infielders come in this 4-0 game. Fernando Rodriguez begins to throw for Houston.
I've been pining for the all Rodriguez game. Yeah, that should be a fastball.
Right through the legs. Line shot into right. That'll score run number 5 easily to make it 5-0 Rays. On the RBI single by Longoria, giving him a 3-run batted in game and 26 for the year.
I'm sure coming into this game, this series, Brad Mills figuring it would be difficult to score a lot of runs tonight off Shields, but probably figured he was in real good shape with Wandy on the mound. But, this one has gotten away from the left-hander.
Joe Madden's club up 5-0 with 6 hits. Longoria with 2 of those. Now it's Upton. Upton hit a homer in the 3rd. That was the first time all season the Rays have hit back-to-back home runs. He walked and stole a base in the 2nd. Double play in order here. One hopper Johnson. He goes to Keppinger. Keppinger relays to Wallace, and it's a 5-4-3 twin killing. And the Rays get a run on 2 hits and leave a man. For Tampa Bay, it's now a 5-0 lead.
Sixer history. June 24, 2007, Craig Biggio gets his 658th career double, the most by any right-handed batter. 12-9 victory that day, too. Here it is. No right-handed batter with more doubles than Craig. Of course, that's one of the reasons on his 3,000th hit he tried to do that. Didn't quite make it on that hit, though.
James Shields on the mound with a 5-0 lead, throwing ball one to Carlos Lee. Home fifth inning underway. Lee popped first on the first pitch back in the second inning. It's a 1-1 strike count. The Rays have had a stretch of over 650 games using a starting pitcher younger than age 30. A streak that dates back to May of 07.
Twist speaker Pete Rose, Stan Musial, Ty Cobb, the only hitters in Major League Baseball history with more doubles than Craig.
That's impressive. Doubles are made out of the box, they say. First 2-3 steps up the first base line could make a difference. This one heads down the left field line. Coming over Ruggiano deep into the corner, and the fans get a souvenir.
Here they are. Speaker, Rose, Musial, Cobb. Rose, of course, a switch hitter. The other fellows lefties, and then Craig, the only right-handed batter among the top 5, just ahead of George Brett, also a left-handed hitter.
This one to left field will be playable. Ruggiano takes it in. 1 out. Just 1 hit for the Astros, but Shields has faced the minimum because he got the double play on Pence in the 4th inning. Brett Wallace grounded out in the 2nd. Shields is 29 years old. When he beat the Marlins, he did not allow an earned run. He struck out 10 in 9 innings. And that was the 2nd time he beat Florida this year. He went 9 innings of shutout ball against them with 13 strikeouts in the other. Well, this looks like the version the Marlins have been seeing this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shields made a slight adjustment to his delivery earlier in the season. He changed how he stepped back from the mound, so he didn't rotate as much when he threw. Breaks off that one, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. He became one of only 3 pitchers in Rays history to throw complete game victories in back-to-back starts. Wallace is down on strikes. That's number 4.
I don't know if there's any evidence to back it up, but it seems like coming off days, historically the Astros haven't done a whole lot in the batter's box.
True.
And I imagine followers of other clubs would say the same thing. And again, I don't know if there's any merit to that or not.
Hit by the pitch. Chris Johnson heads for first with 2 outs. 4th hit batsman of the year for Shields. And Clint Barmas will get a chance to swing here. Cincinnati is tied 4-4 at Baltimore. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Adam Jones hit his 12th home run for the Orioles. Volquez and Jakabauskas were the starters. They're both gone. Barmas looks at ball 1. The Astros have averaged 2,561 more per home game for interleague games since '97 when interleague play started. That's pretty far down the list. It's 20th place among the teams that draw better for interleague than for the rest of their games. Didn't get him on the jaw, did it? They have.
Yeah, I think so.
1-1. Foul ball makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes for Clint Barmas. It's Oakland nothing, Philadelphia nothing. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Philly. Roy Oswalt headed for the disabled list. More back problems.
Yeah, it's been a rough year for Roy.
This will be the second time he's had to miss starts with back trouble. It's 2-2.
The Phillies with, as you would expect, 3 of the top 10 in the National League in ERA. Hamels and Halladay with identical .251 ERAs, and Cliff Lee at .287. Jurgens and Hansen at the top, then Hamels, Halladay. Jeff Karstens, boy, what a year he's having for the Pirates.
Big year.
He's 5th in the league in ERA. And Chacin of Colorado, Cliff Lee, Wandy right there at number 8 before this one. And Kennedy, Anibal Sanchez rounding out the top 10.
First 3-ball count of the night for Shields.
Shields got some funk going on from that set position,
yes,
doesn't
he does. Runner going, and it's ball 4. Or is it?
Nope, ring him up.
Sure did. So it's a strikeout to end the 5th. Strikeout number 5 for Shields, and after 5, it's 5-0 Rays. Second of the 2 by B.J. Upton. Home run number 9 of the season, coming in the 3rd inning as the Rays got 4 runs. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. The umpires reviewed it, and the home run call stood. No fan interference. And that fan received the home run ball. Was he reaching over? The ruling was no. He was not reaching over into the field of play and interfering with that ball. Now Shopik sends one to right center field. Hunter Pence back. One out here in the 6th inning in a 5-0 game. Shopik's 0 for 3 tonight. Ruggiano will follow. He's 0 for 2. Ruggiano was struck out and grounded off the glove of Rodriguez to Keppinger. Taking ball 1. It's been a while since Wandy's had a game like this. Last time he gave up more than 3 runs in a game was April 24th at Milwaukee when he allowed 4. He's given up 5 twice previously, and they came in 2 of his first 3 starts. 2 balls, 1 strike. He gave up 7 in his very first start at Philadelphia in 4 innings. came into this game with a .500 record, 67 and 67. He's thrown 100 pitches, 61 have been strikes. Colorado leads at Yankee Stadium 4-2 in the 8th. That's a strike. 3-2. Jason Giambi has come back for the Rockies to homer against his former mates. Number 8 of the year, Troy Tulowitzki, hit his 14th. Charged by Barmas. He throws on the run, makes a good play. 2 outs.
It's quite a rebirth that Giambi's having.
Yes, very much so. And from what we're hearing, teammates love him in the clubhouse. Kochman popped to the pitcher and he grounded out. In tight for ball 1. It's 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike for Wandy in that Rockies-Yankees game, bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Colorado. Ubaldo Jimenez started. He went 7, giving up 4 runs against A.J. Burnett. Giving up 2 runs rather in 7 innings. Burnett gave up 4 runs in 6 1/3. Strike call there makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Rumors out of Washington are that perhaps Davey Johnson will be named as manager of the Nationals.
Is he working for the Nationals now?
I do not know.
Not sure about that. Rolled out to second. Keppinger's there over Wallace. In the middle of the 6th inning, it's 5-0 Rays.
Brought to you by Sonic, America's Driving. It's new, it's better, it's the new Sonic Good. And by Gullo, treating you like family. Now back to Bill Brown and Jim Bechet.
Thank you, Greg Lucas. It's 5-0 Tampa Bay. Carlos Corporan due up first. Then we see a pinch hitter, Angel Sanchez, on deck. Pitcher spot due to follow Corporan. And then Michael Bourne to bat third against James Shields, who's bearing down, trying to get win number 8 of the season. Shields has allowed only 1 single and 1 hit batsman through 5. He's faced 1 more than the minimum. Corporan grounded out to the first baseman Kochman earlier. Looking at ball one.
So Shields in great shape here for his third consecutive complete game. Having thrown just 54 pitches to this point in the ball game, he's got a nice, comfortable lead to work with. That allows him to be even more aggressive.
Foul ball makes it 1-1. You were mentioning the possibility that Davey Johnson might take over the Nationals manager job, and John McLaren is the interim managing tonight with a Houston background.
How about that? Jimmy Riggleman just said, sign me or I'm walking.
Kind of crazy. We get the two different reports, and it would be interesting to know what the real story is. But he had done a nice job there.
Well, you know, his time, you know, they've been on a nice roll here lately, so I'm sure he felt like, okay, this is the time to go for it. And if you're going to lay those chips on the table, you can't change your mind. You can't say, look, you guys need to extend me or I'm walking, and then not walk.
Right.
And then Riggs, I saw in an interview he did afterwards, he said, well, I didn't say I was walking. I said, but we need to have this conversation. And the vibe that he got from the general manager, Rizzo, was that they didn't really want to have that conversation.
Yeah, Rizzo said he needed to wait longer. Strikeout number 6.
We don't know what the whole backstory, how long these conversations have been going on.
Now Angel Sanchez is the pinch hitter for Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez out after going 6 innings, allowing 6 hits, 5 runs, walking 1, fanning 5. 107 pitches for Wandy. There is strike 1 to Angel Sanchez. Angel at 255 with a homer, 20 runs batted in, 4 for 11 as a pinch hitter. It's a 1-1 strike count. The Astros pinch hitters have been good. 26 hits and 101 at bats, including 3 homers, 13 runs batted in. Downs has been phenomenal this year. 1-2. Matt, who came up with the game-winning pinch homer Wednesday night, now 7 for 18, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. Longoria. High throw. Kochman with the tag. 2 outs. Our leaders of the game is brought to you by United, proud to fly the Houston Astros. Let's check out more on Matt Downs. His 8 runs batted in as a pinch hitter are tied for first in the majors. Chris Heisey of Cincinnati is the other with 8.
Astros are hitting .257 in the pinch. League average is .216. Cincinnati Reds are an otherworldly .337.
Ooh, they really are. Michael Bourne is 1 for 2. Strike 1 to Bourne. The Astros outfielders are combining to hit for a .294 batting average. That's second in the majors to the St. Louis Cardinals outfielders.
It's not getting the power production that you hope to get from your outfield.
And with the 2 homers tonight by the Rays, as Bourne takes the ball to make it 1-2, the Astros have been out-homered 90-42 this season.
I mentioned in the pregame show the Rays were the Devil Rays, of course, from 1998 until November of 2007, when their owner said, "No, we got to get rid of this Devil thing," and they went to the Rays and changed their team colors. They just changed everything about their woeful past. Now they see got the sun there. They're the ray of light. They're a beacon over Florida. That's kind of the whole angle behind it.
Well, ever since they exercised the devil, they've been good.
Yeah, they still have the Ray logo on the shirt, but I still think they have some stingrays or some kind of ray swimming around there at the ballpark.
Yeah. First walk for Shields. Bourne is on for Keppinger. Now they have a tank with some of those rays swimming around. We saw that when we were there. And we stayed in the haunted hotel.
Oh, yeah, over at St. Petersburg.
Great pitching line for Shields. Jeff Keppinger's 0 for 2, a strikeout, and he bounced into a force play.
You walk the only guy or the guy you're You're not supposed to walk more than any other in that lineup because of his speed, but Michael also has the only base hit he gave up, so he said, I got to be a little more careful with this guy. He had a rocket off me last time.
He sure did. Well, Michael is right up there among the best stolen base paces through 76 games in Astros history. Gerald Young, though, had 43 steals through 76 games in 1988. Michael has 32, so 11 more for the G-Man at this point of the season. That's a pretty substantial increase over where Michael is right now. And Cesar Cedeno had one more than Michael to this point of the 74 season. That's out into center field. Upton with the running grab to end the sixth. No runs, no hits, one man left. 5-0 Rays through 6.
We move to the 7th time for the Progressive Fan of the Game. This week, the Progressive Fan of the Game gives me a chance to also do a little investigative journalism. B.J. Epton's home run that landed out here in the Crawford boxes back in the 3rd. Michael Niemer was the fan in question. First of all, Michael, describe the play. You saw the ball coming in. What happened next?
Try to make sure I position myself right behind the yellow line in front of my girlfriend, make sure she didn't get hit.
Very good.
Luckily, I didn't spill any beer on the way, but it ended up being a good deal.
So you did not spill any beer?
No beer spilled.
And the girlfriend did not get hit?
She did not get hit.
Because we've had some issues with that,
That's right.
Okay. So you were clearly not over the line?
Not over the line, behind the line, stood sideways, clearly picked the ball off the ground. It was good.
Nice job. And replays verified he was legal. So he has to be the Progressive Fan of the Game for being involved in the play by not being involved in the play. Now you got a bag to put the ball in and T-shirt and some other stuff. Okay, nice job.
Appreciate it.
There had to be some pressure out here to throw that thing back, though.
A lot of pressure with these Tampa Bay fans right here. A lot of pressure.
But he persevered anyway. You see, here's the difference, guys. Fan of the game, you're in big trouble, mister. Right? This is good, bad, okay? It's a game of inches. Back to you guys.
This call to the bullpen is presented by Verizon Wireless. Thank you, Bart. And now here's a sharp grounder to Wallace off the bat of Johnson. That's out number 1 for Fernando Rodriguez, just in the game after Wandy Rodriguez went the first 6.
Lefty Wandy gives way to righty Fernando Rodriguez, who worked twice on the recent road trip, a scoreless inning and a 7-0 win at Dodger Stadium, and then a third of an inning in that game that the Astros lost late in Arlington 5-4, the middle game of that series. Fernando is going to throw a four-seam fastball, good curveball, and a straight change. Curveball probably his best pitch.
Shields fouls it. It's 1-1.
He's got a good heater too, and made a little bit better because of the deceptive nature of his delivery. There's a good curveball.
1-2 to Shields. Fernando's had 5 straight scoreless outings.
He's just thinking, pitch a shutout, hit a home run. He just wants to have his best day ever here. Those swings he's taking.
Jones out of play. Texas Rangers lead the New York Mets 4-1 after 5 in Arlington tonight. Adrian Beltre hit a first inning homer off Mike Pelfrey with a man on, his 13th of the year. And there's a strikeout. That's Matt Harrison going for Texas. And we join Greg Lucas.
Got something big coming up on Saturday, July 16th, which, of course, you can mark it on your calendar. You can join the Astros for the second Faith and Family Night of 2011. The Astros host the Pirates at 6:05, and after the game, fans can enjoy a free post-game concert with the David Crowder Band on their final tour. Tickets start at only $7. Astros.com is the place to check it out.
There's a single with 2 outs to center field by Rodriguez. That's what started all the trouble for Wandy Rodriguez in the third, so it's quite a Rodriguez night. Sean on with 3 hits and 4 at-bats. Wandy and Fernando pitching.
Just need to get an Uri in the game.
Zobrist will be batting next.
That's George Hendrick there, the first base coach for the Rays. Good power hitter.
Sure was.
He hit the ball hard.
Solid outfielder too. Strong arm. We used to call him Lonesome George. He's now called Silent George. Good play there by Corcoran. It's ball 1. Zobrist has the RBI single and a walk.
He's not relationship George.
5-0 here. The Rays leading it in St. Louis. It's 4-2 Toronto over St. Louis. Colby Rasmus hit his 6th home run for the Cardinals. Westbrook started. He got beaten around. And it's Brandon Morrow on the mound for the Jays. 1-1. There's the Band-Aid, some kind of bandage for J.R. Tolles.
It creates some shaving problems.
Rex Jones talking with him. May have had to get stitches in that. It was bleeding quite a bit. We have not received any official report that that's what happened. Keppinger snags it, throws to second for the force play. No runs, a hit. A good play to end it in the 7th inning, and it's 5-0 Tampa Bay. After the 7th inning stretch, as James Shields has really handcuffed the Astros so far tonight on 1 single. He has walked 1 and hit 1 through 6, so he's faced only 2 over the minimum. Got a double play ball in the 4th inning, and he has been right in that same groove he's been in for the last couple of starts, JD.
Not quite the groove that guy was in with those dance moves. But, yeah, I mean, this is no, you know, there's certain games where you get shut down, and afterwards people, you got shut down by that guy. Nobody's going to say that after what Shields has been doing and just by the nature of his stuff. I mean, this guy's got a pretty good idea what he's trying to do out there.
Hunter Pence.
Not a real hard thrower. He's got a good fastball, but, you know, major league average in terms of velocity. But his curveball is a plus pitch, and his changeup is a plus.
Pence takes it. It's 1-1 to Hunter.
Birthday greetings go out this evening to Frank Hedgeland. Happy birthday, Frank. Also finding out today that he's going to be a grandfather.
That's a big day.
That's a good birthday present right there, Frank.
High to left field.
Maybe Hunter Pence will hit a home run for you. Or not.
Luciano, 1 out. And it's Carlos Lee coming up next against Shields, going for complete game number 6 of the year. Because he's only thrown 73 pitches. Lee popped to first on the first pitch in the 2nd, then on a 2-2 offering he flied to left in the 5th. Phillies came up with a run in the 9th to beat Oakland 1-0 on a pinch RBI single by Ben Francisco. There's strike 1.
Who pitched for Philly tonight?
The starter was Vance Worley. He went 6. Stutes got the win. Fuentes the loser for Oakland. Moscoso started for them and went 7. Johnson throws out Lee. 2 outs. Well, the Phillies are also going to be without one of their top relievers, Jose Contreras, now for a while. He's going on the DL. Fred Wallace is grounded out and has struck out. 75 pitches only for James Shields through 6 2/3. The Rays have 6 complete games. Shields has 5 of the 6. Jim Hickey talks it over with Joe Madden. That's ball 1. Hickey did an excellent job when he was here with the Astros during those big years, 04 and 05. One and 1 to count. One 2 to Wallace, who's now over his last 22. Wallace almost hit by that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Minnesota leads 3-2 at Milwaukee. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Well, the Rays just took 2 of 3 when they were in Milwaukee against the first place club. Bounce slowly. Shields comes over. Makes the throw, but it's off the base and gets by the first baseman Kochman anyway. So Wallace might have ended the 0 for 22. We'll wait for the official score to rule on it.
Yeah, when you got an 0 for something going that long, you'll take any kind of hit. A little dribbler back to the mound. You say, give me a hit. Give me a hit. That's not an error. That's a hit. I would have beat that out.
Off balance throw.
Yeah, that's a much easier play for the third baseman. I didn't see where Longoria was. Might not have had a good angle.
Yeah, he was shifted. I don't think he could have gotten there. It's ruled a hit. And now it's Johnson. That's only hit number 2 for the Astros. Chris is grounded out to third, and he's been hit by a pitch. That is certainly a different way to go into the stretch. That's strike 1. And Ariel Del Rosario's warming up. That's to center field. Well hit. Upton backing. Going up toward Towles Hill. That one's up on Towles Hill. Wallace around third to score. Relay to the plate. Cut off. 5-1. RBI double Johnson. Double number 17. Gives him his 32nd run batted in.
Well, the Rays' big inning started 2 outs, nobody on. Started harmlessly enough. The Astros looking to counter, get a 2-out ground ball back to the pitcher, base hit, and now this. We talk about long and short. Little dribbler, and then a blast 420 some odd feet away for an RBI double for CJ.
Clint Barmas. As the pitcher steps back, Shields has Johnson at second. Yeah, that's a home run in a lot of ballparks. Double number 17 here. Third hit for the Astros, the first for extra bases. Barmas looks at ball one. This is the first Astros at bat of the game with a runner in scoring position. Al Pedrique, the Astros bench coach, alongside Brad Mills. Popped up toward shallow right. Zobrist to end the 7th inning. 1 run scoring on 2 hits. With a runner stranded, it's 5-1. Tampa Bay after 7. Great hands of the game, showing you a double play. Upton hits the ball, and then the hands were quick on the part of Chris Johnson. He got to second. Keppinger related at first, and it's a double play to run the 5th inning for Tampa Bay. Ball came up on CJ a little bit. He caught it around the left hip area. And then he just drove in a run with a double. Now it's 5-1 as the Rays come up in the 8th inning. Paid attendance tonight is 26,682. Colorado won at Yankee Stadium 4-2. Ubaldo Jimenez going to 3-7 with the win at Yankee Stadium over A.J. Burnett, who's 7-6. Houston Street got save number 23. Washington managed by John McLaren tonight in Chicago to play the White Sox. 0-0, bottom of the 7th inning. Fernando Rodriguez gets strike one on Evan Longoria, who's driven in 3 tonight with a homer and an RBI single.
Nationals have been getting great pitching. They've climbed above 500. Winners of 9 of their last 10 ball games.
Yeah, some of the lines in the media after their most recent win. It was a walk-off win, then Jim Riggleman walked off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, good headline. Good headline fodder. Intentional walk.
Right.
Walk-off manager.
Swing and a miss, and the strikeout is completed by the throw from Corcoran to Wallace. Strikeout number 2 for Fernando Rodriguez, number 7 for Astros pitching. Now it's Upton. Upton homered in the 3rd right after the Longoria homer. He also has a walk and a steal tonight. Upton's brother Justin plays outfield for Arizona. Strike to him. That White Sox Nationals game, 0-0 bottom of the 7th in Chicago. Jordan Zimmerman's the pitcher for Washington. Fred Wallace comes over. Can't get to it. Edwin Jackson for the White Sox tonight. He has to pry it out of Dad's hand.
I see Dad's being smart there. He's getting the. Now you can't go throwing this on the field, son. Seen that happen before. No?
Yes.
I know you like to throw the ball, but in this instance, we're just going to hang on.
That one's off the screen. Still no balls, 2 strikes. The Rays started the year 0-6.
The Rays and the Red Sox both very slow out of the gate.
1-2. The Rays wound up for the month of April, going 15-12. They became the first team to start 0-6 and finish the month with a winning record.
Somehow I'm thinking that the slow start for the Rays didn't get quite as much attention in the Tampa St. Pete area as it did up there in Red Sox Nation.
Well, they're averaging 18,485 home games for the Rays this year. 2-hopper Barmas. 2 outs. So no, we wouldn't have received all that attention. But then they quickly righted the ship. And they played a Major League Baseball record 61.5 innings without a lead in those first 6 games, and almost all the way through the 7th they got a lead in the 9th inning of their first win. Shopik's 0 for 3.
Imagine Joe Madden had some very Zen-like comments to make when that was going on. He's not going to panic.
Fun guy.
He's a great guy. Brings a lightness to the job. They go on theme road trips. Most recently they were wearing pajamas because they had a long overnight flight from the West Coast back east. Last time they came here last year, I think it was cowboy boots and hats and such.
Yeah.
I don't know if did they do anything for this trip?
No, they didn't. I happened to get here right when their bus did, and they did not wear anything special for this trip. Strictly business.
Yeah, but it's on the flight and the hotel anyway. I wouldn't wear it to the ballpark.
Okay. 2-1.
Probably not, though, since they've already been here.
That's odd. I don't think they like it particularly to be coming to this National League city for the 2nd straight year. But that's the way the schedule came out.
One of the recent trips, they all wore hockey jerseys in honor of the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, it could be any jersey of any hockey team.
That was sweater. They call them sweaters in hockey, don't they?
Yes,
they would sweater.
Now Longoria has gone with the modified Mohawk. A couple of his teammates also into that. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Faux hawk?
Faux hawk, yeah.
He's no relation to the actors.
Do people ask you that?
When I first saw his name, I remember when he was in college seeing the name Evan Longoria. And I thought, he's a Longoria. He's got to be related.
Yeah.
He's not.
Evan's from California. Do we know where Eve is from? Texas. Corpus Christi. Foul ball. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big Jeff Neiman of Rice University will do the pitching on Sunday. Wade Davis goes tomorrow. Jay Happ will be the Sunday pitcher for the Astros. It'll be Bud Norris tomorrow night at 6:05 for Game 2. That's hit to left field. Carlos Lee on the track. In the 8th inning, the Rays go out in order. They lead it 5-1.
You can help send Hunter Pence to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times at Astros.com. Visit Astros.com and cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often. Vote tonight at Astros.com.
Hunter Pence, one of just a handful of Major League players who leads their club in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. There's Jim Hickey out there warming up Shields. We start the bottom half of the 8th. He could still get down there. So Pence, Matt Kemp, Asdrubal Cabrera, Jose Bautista, Brian McCann, Lance Berkman, and Paul Konerko. That group leads their club in batting average, home run, and RBI. A fairly elite group.
Carlos Corporon, we're just getting the announcement on J.R. Tolles as Carlos fouls it. He is 0 for 2. J.R. Tolles had to have 11 stitches in his chin tonight. He got hit on the mask by that foul ball and to leave the game in the top of the 3rd inning. And he's considered day to day. No balls, 2 strikes. Shields in one game gave up a 1st inning triple to Asdrubal Cabrera of Cleveland and picked him off third base. Fly ball to right. He has not had to worry a whole lot about base runners tonight. That's out number 1.
No, but his stuff must be a little diminished. In the last couple innings, the Astros are putting some better swings on him, getting the ball into the outfield with a little bit of authority anyway after so meekly through 6 innings, everything either a strikeout or just a ground ball. Really not hitting the ball with any authority at all, except for perhaps the Bourne base hit in the 4th.
Jason Michaels is the pinch hitter for Fernando Rodriguez. Gets a curve for strike 1.
Things don't look good for the home team right now, but they didn't look very good Wednesday night in Arlington either when they dropped that 4 spot on Neftali Feliz.
It's going to be a 3 Rodriguez game for the Astros.
This is exciting for no other reason. This has got to be some kind of a major league record we're about to set. It's a 3 Rod night.
J. Mike with that .211 batting average is 2 for 17 as a pinch hitter. Fouls that one away. Still no balls, 2 strikes. He got a chance to play in left field in Arlington with Carlos Lee DHing all those 3 games, and Hunter Pence out of the lineup. So he got in his at-bats, and he went 4 for 13 with 2 runs batted in that series. And J. Mike on the road trip was 4 for 14, showing some good signs lately. 1-2. Fernando Rodriguez in 2 innings allowed 1 hit, no runs, had no walks and 2 strikeouts. That's pulled foul. Last 4 pinch hit appearances. J. Mike's 2 for 4. Braves and Padres are underway. No score, bottom of the first in San Diego. Michaels went for it. Brian Gorman called him for a swing, and that's a strikeout. Number 7.
Shields really set the tone early in this ball game. 1-2-3 first inning with 3 strikeouts, including getting Keppinger on that changeup. And when a guy gets Keppinger to swing and miss, you know he's got something funky going on. And at his night, it's a nice combination of early fastballs and typically going to the curveball or the changeup as a put-away pitch. Jason felt like he checked his swing. Long conversation with Brian Gorman that ultimately brought Brad Mills out of the dugout, but that's all been settled. And you look at a very impressive pitching line as he pursues his 3rd consecutive complete game.
Michael Bourne is 1 for 2 with a walk.
And here it is one more time. Jason, did he go or not? Tough to tell.
Oh, 2. Cincinnati and Baltimore now in the 10th, tied 4-4. Bourne swings and misses for strikeout number 8 to end the 8th inning with a score 5-1 Rays.
In MLB All-Star history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite midsummer classics. And tune into the 2011 MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Television. Find out who won. Watch the game, too. That might not be a bad idea. Well, is this history, guys? Someone will tell us for sure. An all-Rodriguez night on the mound.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes.
There we 0-4. His ERA 5.33. He's the 3rd Rodriguez to pitch for the Astros.
It's like a softball game at a family reunion. Everybody's got the same name. A 3-rod night.
Wandy went 6, gave up 5 runs. Fernando went 2, gave up 1 hit, no runs. Now Anahewi, who had quite a relief performance Monday night at Texas. 4 1/3 innings a 2-hit shutout ball, throwing 51 pitches. Comes in for the 9th.
Yeah, that was the game where Jay Happ got knocked around left early, and Uri came in and kept it reasonable. He really pitched well, and he did a lot of that. He was able to slot his fastball down around the knees consistently. It's like he's working hard to keep that arm up, to get that good tilt on his fastball, that good angle moving into the strike zone.
Barmas takes care of out number 1 on Ruggiano, who's 0 for 4 now. And Kochman will come up. This is the 3rd appearance for an AOA since he came out of the starting rotation, went to the bullpen. Jordan Lyles slotted into the rotation. He had 8 starts. He went 0-4 with a 5.80 ERA in those 8 starts. A couple of them were quality starts. That's ball 1. Elliott Johnson's on deck. It's Milwaukee 4, Minnesota 3. They're in the top of the 8th inning at Milwaukee. Two 2-0. Rangers lead the Mets 6-1 after 7 in Texas. Michael Young has hit his 5th. That's a fair ball into the left field corner. Chris Johnson was playing well off the line. Opposite field double for Kochman. That's his 12th double of the year. The hit gives him a 5-game hitting streak. Hit number 8 for the Rays.
All kinds of room over there down the third base line, and he just carves one into the corner.
Johnson's 0 for 3. Shields is on deck. Blocked by Corpora on ball 1. Jose Altuve has been selected to play for the World Team in the XM All-Star Futures game on All-Star Week, July 10th in Phoenix. Fouled away, and it's one.
All that kid does is hit. He hits 400 everywhere he goes.
Yeah. He was hitting .408 in 52 games at Class A Lancaster. Happy moment for that family.
Well, they got it all now. They got the foam finger, the plushy little stuffed toy, now they got a souvenir ball.
Some things you don't have to purchase. 1-2. Here's a replay of that catch.
Yeah. He didn't even drop his kid. Like that guy in L.A. Guy in L.A. dropped his daughter to make the catch.
It's been a rough year in L.A. Big cut and a strike for Johnson, and he's down. 2 outs. Strikeout number 8 for Houston pitchers. Shields comes up. He has struck out 3 of those times. Astros in Minute Maid today opened the new Jimmy Wynn Training Center at the Astros Urban Youth Academy in Houston. Special ceremonies. Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence, Brad Mills, Ed Wade, Pam Gardner, and Tal Smith were there. Strike to Shields. They have 2 batting cages and pitching mounds at a new $500,000 indoor facility at Sylvester Turner Park. 1-1. Majority of the funding came from Minute Maid's Grand Slam for Youth program. The Shields has taken some big cuts tonight. Struck out all 3 times.
I don't think he's afraid of a 4th either.
No.
I think he's going to go ahead and let the bat fly. Most important thing for him is he's getting 4 ABs. That means he's got a shot at another complete game.
Well, up to the moment, the Rays pitchers have gone 0 for 17 this year with 12 punch-outs.
Well, you know you're going good if you've punched out 3 times and they still have to have a meeting to discuss how to get you out. See Tom Foley there, the third base coach?
No.
In the background of that shot we had. Tom Foley was a shortstop, good defender, right-handed, but in high school he was a left-handed throwing quarterback. He played baseball right-handed, threw right-handed on the baseball diamond, and was a left-handed quarterback.
How do you figure?
I don't know.
Have to ask him that. Swing and a miss.
Because he was hurt once, and the backup quarterback came in, and the backup quarterback got hurt, so he went back in the game and played quarterback right-handed. So I think naturally he was right-handed, but he picked up a glove, a brother or a dad or something when he was, a real little guy, and just started throwing the baseball around right-handed.
Okay. It's a team player.
Yeah.
Switch hands for the team. Strike 3 call. 4th punch out for Shields, but he's done a lot right on the mound. It's 5-1 Tampa Bay.
Brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. At the bottom of the ninth, the game goes. Shields trying for another complete game. The Astros hitter is going to try to change that. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies on the call.
Well, Greg, it's 5-1, and James Shields is the major league leader in complete games with 5. He's trying for his 3rd in a row. The Astros have not had a complete game pitched against them this season, but with numbers like that and the low pitch count, he's a strong bet to do it with Keppinger, Pence, and Lee coming up in the home 9th inning.
He alone has more complete games than every team in Major League Baseball except for the Seattle Mariners and the Philadelphia Phillies. And if he gets his 6th one here tonight, he'll be tied with the Mariners. Phillies have 8 complete games.
If he goes the distance tonight for Joe Maddon's Rays, he will have equaled his career total for complete games coming into this season. He will have increased it actually by 1. And now it's Keppinger. Keppinger's 0 for 3. He had 5 coming into this year. This is a shot at number 6 this year. Strike to Keppinger. Shields shooting for Major League win number 64. Hits a strike on a breaking pitch, and it's 0-2. you see, the last couple have been 9 innings after a 7-inning start, June 8th. Could be 3 straight complete games. Out into center field. 1 out. That's pretty rare in today's game. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm just looking at the Rays press notes that they put out before the game. He's one of only 2 pitchers in this decade to have 5 complete games this far into the season. Halladay did it in 2005.
Bounced and it's foul. Hunter Pence. Beautiful one-top
no
throw.
play, but what a no play it was.
Yeah, that was exciting for a foul ball. This one hop on target throw from Longoria. He does that all the time. One of the best at crossing over into foul territory.
And look how quickly he's able to regain his balance and get into a position to make the throw. As he's lunging, just put yourself in that situation, how difficult it would be to get your body in any kind of position to make a throw.
Pence takes a look at it. Now that you put it that way, 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of us trying to put ourselves in that position. We'll be making an appointment at the chiropractor's office for tomorrow, first thing. Good way to do a face plant.
Yeah.
1 and 2. That's the body control is what's so amazing for these athletes. The ability to go reach out for a ball like that and regain enough balance to make a long throw across the diamond without completely taking a tumble. It's that wicked changeup. Strikeout number 9.
Yeah, and I think the guys that can really defend, they're really great fielders. I mean, you can teach guys how to hit, but fielding it just comes from playing. Just kids that grew up playing baseball all the time, always had a bat and a ball and a glove, head to a park somewhere.
103 pitches for James Shields, trying to join CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee, and Brandon Webb as the only 3 pitchers who have thrown 3 straight complete games in the last 5 years. Ball 1 to Carlos Lee. He's 0 for 3. The 5 complete games he has now already have tied the club record for a season. One ball, 1 strike. What a year underway for James Shields, who could indeed be starting the All-Star game. He could be 8 and 4. His ERA was 2.40 before this game. Out toward right field. Zobrist for the final out. It's the complete game for Shields, number 6 of the season. He goes to 8 and 4. He extends his own club record. And the Rays capture the opener of this 3-game series. Final score, Rays 5, Astros 1.